Hello everybody, my name is Luke Marr and this is HauteLeMode, and today on HauteLeMode we are coming to you with the Country Music Awards 2022 Roast and Review. I don't think I've ever done the CMAs previously because I don't really listen to country music, and also for the most part usually when I see what happens on the red carpet I say, let me not. It's really about the fact that I don't know who the majority of the people are on the carpet. Sorry, but like I really wouldn't know Carrie Underwood if she like dug her keys into the side of my pretty little souped up four-wheel booty crack. I'm not a country person, you know what I mean? Like I know maybe 3 songs, Chicken Fry, Red Solo Cup, and then like Kacey Musgraves, but like is she really country? I don't know. We're gonna react and roast and review some of the looks. As you saw from the title, there is most definitely an intriguing moment where celebrities showed up in the same look, and we're gonna get into that, so don't worry. First up is Pearce, and she is wearing Mônot. Now, Mônot is a part Lebanese, part American brand that shows in Paris, and it's very big sort of within the celebrity set. There is a lot of red carpet dressing, but the thing about it is it's a brand that's also known for a lot of skin exposure, which, just my thoughts, I wouldn't think is a super big country music awards experience. I've also never watched them. I don't watch country music videos, so like, listen, the girls could be bearing it all. I have no clue. But from my understanding, I would presume it's not super common. So as we can see, it is a simple floor-length white dress. There is a slit up one side. There is a kind of scooping neckline, but it's not really that scooping. There's a strip of fabric that holds it together, and then we have another sort of ovular keyhole cutout that exposes a little bit of cleavage. It's very simple. It's Mônot, but like buttoned up Mônot, which is weird because this is considered buttoned up for Mônot. The shoes that she's wearing, the blue, do I think that it really like goes with anything maybe besides the jewelry? No, so I'm not really understanding like the blue with the white. I get it, they're colors, they work together, but there's no continuity between the two. In reality, it's a pretty blah dress. Maybe it's kind of like daring for the CMAs, but it's not daring enough for me. It just feels blah, blasé, uninteresting. Next up, we have Carrie Underwood, and she is wearing La Métamorphose, or La Métamorphose. The brand I've not heard of. Maybe we've talked about it on here before, but I can't really remember it. The name sounds familiar, but I don't know it. And so Carrie is wearing a plunging neckline dress in what I would say is like a muted blue silk that is pleated and gathered asymmetrically, and there's little panels of like light blue chiffon placed over top. It really just looks like the fabric was garbled in a sad industrial factory accident. The thing is, I think there's moments to do like this micro pleating where it can look really, really good and it can look really, really beautiful, but I think from afar, it doesn't look really, really good and it does not look really, really beautiful, so it does not create a visual effect in that way. I think that the chiffon's train is horrible? No, I think the way that it falls down is kind of nice, but like where it's falling from is ugly. This area is not, it's not attractive. There are like little rhinestones in it, and I feel uncomfortable. The little panel above where the slit is hurts my soul. It just looks like a black hole of fabric that's blue. I guess that's my issue, is like Carrie Underwood's like very well known. She could pull a look that would be amazing and wonderful and gorgeous and stunning. And then we get Cinderella at the end of the ball, but like not nearly as fantasy silhouette as one would ask. Just the part where like she's ripped up by her stepsisters. That's rough. Next up, we have Chris Stapleton and Morgane Stapleton. Let's talk about Chris. He is wearing a cowboy hat with a big turquoise brown hat, sandy brown, probably like a suede. Then there's a black blazer, a pair of darker brown leather boots. Listen, I don't hate a cowboy boot. I'm currently wearing a pair by Raf Simons for Calvin Klein. That's another story. I don't think a cowboy boot on this red carpet is horrific. I don't think a cowboy boot, when done properly, is horrific either. I get it. But I think that maybe a black boot could have worked with black suit, black boot, black suit. We're singers, we make lyrics, we rhyme things. That one seems easy enough to get for me. And the hat, again, a black hat with a beautiful turquoise stone in it would be also appreciated. I just don't really get the two different kind of browns with the black. It's lost on me. The fit of the pants are like, questionable too. As for Morgane, it seems like she's wearing a jumpsuit or a sloping two-piece set. It's in this black sort of reflective fabric. It's a choice. I'm gonna overlook it because there is a jacket that becomes a long frock coat that has a ruffled hem and then flows out and creates like a train effect, which I think is cool. It's not something that you see all that often. I think that the use of like the tailored blazer turning into a coat that creates this long, beautiful, flowy kind of effect is nice. I appreciate that. At first I was gonna be like, I despise this, but I can see the nicety in it. I can see the construction is good. Do I think the fabric is atrocious? Absolutely, 100%. It looks like bargain bin at Dress Barn. I don't even know if Dress Barn sells fabric by the bowl, but it seems like that's where we got this from. Not to hate on Dress Barn, I'm sure that they're beautiful pieces. The name doesn't really help. So the Stapletons, we're gonna put a staple in it. We're gonna revisit it next year, I guess. Next up, we have Danielle Bradbury, and she is also wearing Mônot. Now, she is wearing a halter style gown. It has a shoulder and side rib exposure, which honestly, I think it's a lovely dress so far. As we come down, we can see that there is a high slit that comes up on the right side. And then it has a flowing sort of train tail effect that's coming, I believe, off of the actual halter at the back as it reaches around the neck, which I think is cool. I think it's sweet. Again, Mônot is a brand that is much more about exposing as much body as you possibly can. And I think that here, this is a buttoned up version of that, but I think that this one is actually kind of nice. I think this one does a good job of exposing body, but in like a, what I would say is a more conservative, not politically conservative, but like conservative in showing off the body. Conservative for the modern exposing age, I would say, for the Country Music Awards. I like the dress. I think it's nice. I actually think it's kind of pretty. I think for Mônot, it's a good way of showcasing on the red carpet that, like, yes, we can do all of the above out, but also we can do nice sort of styles that still expose skin without being too risque for some people's tastes. Next up, we have Dustin Lynch, and he is wearing Ted Baker. And listen, I think this is a great example of, like, I don't know, doing the cowboy hat and the cowboy boots and like wearing a nice suit and looking good, still feeling country, being able to match colors. Really not that hard, I don't think. Dustin is wearing a sandy, deserty, brown cowboy hat and a matching pair of boots, or at least like they're pretty matching. It looks like they're both in suede, which I get, it's a nice fabric. It's a type of leather. It's just not your polished, shiny leather. It has more grain, it has more texture to it. And then we can see that there is, I would call this like an eggplant, maybe an aubergine. It has that nice sort of purple color, and then there's a little bit of a silkier purple button-up shirt underneath. No tie, which I think is fine. I think that's okay. The pants fit. They could fit better. Definitely could fit better. I think the way that they fall makes them crunch and scrunch a little bit. And the thing is, when you are a celebrity and you do things, a tailor never hurts. Like they have them, I'm sure, at any place, anywhere around the country. Tailors exist. There are people that know how to sew and make things fit. So I don't want to hear excuses. Don't want to hear excuses. Things can fit. That's my issue with the pants. Now, from my understanding, this brand, I believe, is from the United Kingdom, Ted Baker. It's kind of like a high street brand. It's not super duper luxury, but it is a little bit pricier than, you know, your H&M's and your Zara. Well, not Zara at this point, but H&M's, your Forever 21s, whoever else is open at this point. And the thing is, I don't really understand why you wouldn't shop from like an American brand or be dressed by an American brand. I understand that Ted Baker has stores in the US, so like I get it. It's the Country Music Awards. I would presume that everybody wants to be like pro made in America. Where's that part? I'd like to know. I'd just like to know. It's just a question I have. I think that there are a lot of cool designers that exist all around this large country, and they all make different cool things, especially people that are going to the CMAs. Country stars in particular should be working with them. I'm sure that there are local designers in your area that make beautiful clothing, and that's something that should be done a little bit more, or at least designers that are American that work at other brands. There are ways to make that work. I just think that we should do that. But regardless, I think this is probably going to be the best dressed of the experience. Next up, we have Elle King, and she is wearing Alex Perry, who is an Australian designer, and I just feel like it would be smarter to wear American brand. One particular designer that I think is super duper wonderful is like Louisa Balu. Super cool young designer, went to Central St. Martin's, makes wonderful, beautiful swimwear, but also does ready-to-wear too. It's in this beautiful floral fabrics. Getting back to the dress, it's a fitted, I'm gonna call it like a copper. It has a somewhat sharp shoulder. It's in the silk, which is just, it's not a great silk. I just don't like silk when it's fitted like this, because anybody that wears it, it's gonna pucker unless it's made specifically for your body and you've had 3 haute couture fittings for it. It's going to pucker and it's gonna look weird. So that's my one issue with it. I just think that the fabric is unforgiving in a bodycon context, and there's just certain fabrics that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I think this is an example. Cup sort of ruching is like, meh. The sharp shoulder, I don't get it. In reality, it's just, it looks like a dress we could have got anywhere. It feels very Bama Rush talk, and that's sad. Not for me. Well, I mean, it's kind of sad for me because I have to look at it, but sad for everybody else that has to also look at it, and also for Elle King. So come on, people, let's... Next up is Jason and Britney Aldean. It's a double-breasted leather jacket with a flare pant and a black shoe. Listen, the hat is like blah, I find, just saying, personally. I mean, like, it's smart, I guess, that he like is matching the rhinestone effect to Britney's dress. It's not the worst look, but it's certainly not the best. The jacket, I think, is intriguing. The use of leather as like a blazer is okay. Pants a little bit too fitted, and I don't mean like fitted in a way. It's like very skinny jean season, and like, listen, unless Eddie Slimane is making your skinny jeans, like, it's a tough look. They have a little bit of like a flare to them, but still you can see that where they're puckering around the kneecap, which again is just weird to me. The shoes, I think, are blah and boring and ugly, so like that's that. As for Britney, it's a whole lot of dress, but like not much to show for it, you know what I mean? It's a fully sequin silver dress that it's rather atrocious. The silver that has some sort of red embroidery going throughout it too, it's not good. Long sleeves, fitted, floor length, and then what we've done is we've added like a bustle on the back, and you didn't get invited to the Met Gala, so I don't know why we're trying to do that, why we're trying to make that happen, because it's not gonna happen. It's just like tacky dress that we picked up at Tacky Dress Barn. We just sort of added a little poof on the back to say, listen, I'm fashion, and it's like, no you're not. Maybe if we, I don't know, rethought our life choices, we would not look like that. Next up is Jessica Chastain. Listen, I don't know how Jessica Chastain goes to everything, but she does. She's there, she's in, she's out, and she always has a custom Gucci look. So let's talk about the look. It's a blue sort of silk dress that is covered in a black lace. It has a little black lace piping over top, and then there's some sort of astrological rhinestone embellishment. So I don't really know where Gucci was kind of coming from with this. Like, listen, the fit is phenomenal of the dress. I have to give credit where credit is due. I just don't think the slip with the lace over it is like super chic. I understand it's kind of Gucci-fied and all that, and then you add the sparkles and the embellishments, and that's great. But you know what I think would have really been smarter from Gucci? Like a Loretta Lynn moment, because that's who was being honored at these awards, and I feel like Loretta Lynn has a very, I'm gonna say Joan Crawford silhouette, where it's like a sharp sort of curved shoulder. It's very 1940s with like a nipped in waist and a big sort of full skirt. And I feel like that could have been like a cool sort of Gucci moment. Gucci has been doing a lot of Hollywood references, and I feel like that would have been like a little moment to have watched and to have seen from Gucci. Again, I don't really know the history of country music and its stars all that well, so in reality, this could be a reference to something, and I really don't know it. I do think the fit of it is nice. I just don't think the black lace over that midnight blue with the star rhinestone is like super chic and wonderful and amazing. You know, it's lost on me. Next up, we have Jessie James Decker and Taylor Decker. Now, Taylor is wearing the suit. It's a black sort of suit with a silk lapel, a black shirt, a black tie, pants that like don't fit that well with a side silk stripe, and the f***ing loafer. The loafer should be the 11th commandment. It should not have ever passed the test of time. Like, they just are atrocious. The blazer fits good, but again, like, it's a boring look. The pants don't really fit well. The loafer's unforgivable, a mortal sin. I understand that the crystals probably are trying to reference the fact that Jessie James Decker is wearing an area dress, which is fully crystallized. This, I believe, is from the spring 2023 area collection, or if it's not, it's from the fall 2022 collection. And the thing is, it's a fitted sort of crystal dress. It's floor length. I think the fit pretty decent. I wish he would take his hand off of her waist just so I could see how it fits. It's puckering a little bit, which I'm not loving at all. But I do think that the actual like bra cups are really intriguing because Area has been doing these sort of really cool, intriguing triangle and geometric 3D shapes. And so I think what we're seeing here is like a triangle pyramid reference. We can see on the two sides that they're folded to create a sort of triangle. We can see the seams actually create the 3 lines. I like that Jessie James Decker is wearing a cool young American brand. See, not that hard. I think that it's still kind of simple. I think it's still pretty elegant. I think people would look at that and say, oh, I love that. Like, that's a beautiful dress. It has an intriguing technique only here, but that's fine. She still looks nice. So I'm fine. I'm good with this. Next up, we have Karen Fairchild of Little Big Town, and she is wearing Alai. Now, I thought, oh my God, Alai is dressing people at the CMAs. That's nuts. I like would not expect Peter Moulier to come out and be like, I am actually a huge country stan. I love it. And then I realized that Alai is selling this dress on their website. So I don't believe that Alai dressed Karen Fairchild. Just saying. But this look is from the fall 2022 collection. It's a netted dress that has a floral foliage motif that runs throughout it in this sort of burnt orange. And then when we get to the bottom of the dress, we can see that there is a mermaid skirt style that juts out. And I believe that this is a faux sort of shaggy fur and or wool that is in a sort of darker red, a more burnt orange. She said, listen, I'm going to do fashion girl moments. I think the fact that it's fully sheer to a degree is really intriguing, a little bit more out there. I think that it fits in with Alaia's idea of king of cling, body conscious, but at the same time, she doesn't have some like super dramatic hourglass figure that has to be fitted in that way. No, I think that in reality, like it's a nice dress. It looks good. It's intriguing. I think it also proves that you don't have to be like 21 and like a size 0 to wear a look like this. You can be a regular person that just wants to put on a cool dress like this and not be afraid. I like the idea of the textured mermaid skirt element and I'm fine with this. This is nice. I like an Alai. Next up, we have Katy Perry wearing Marques'Almeida. I am intrigued by the denim look going on. It's a plunging denim off the shoulder bustier with a pair of oversized jeans that are frayed at the bottom and then a big denim bow. Again, Marques'Almeida is a British brand, so like maybe an American designer would have worked here. I don't know, just my thoughts. I'm sure she's wearing Katy Perry shoes. Get the idea of doing denim and like Americana and like Gold Rush and all that jazz. I don't think that this is like CMA's red carpet attire. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit too casual. I think if you're doing something for The Voice, fine, great, live your best life, absolutely. But I think that this event is a little bit more dressed up. It's a little bit more formal attire. And while I'm usually okay with people like breaking that idea, I think that here, I prefer a little bit more like dressed up, belle of the ball kind of vibe. I think Katy like missed the mark in a lot of ways. Not only for like the actual attire and formality element, the fact that it's not an American brand, also just because like, wow, denim, you got us. Oh my God, reference. Like, yeah. Now, next up, let's do Luke and Nicole Combs. Luke Combs doing black suit, black shirt, black pants. Oh, his cowboy boots look like they are either alligator or crocodile, which that's expensive. It's technically an exotic leather. They are rather pricey. A lot of the times, high quality alligator crocodile skins can get into the high 4 and 5 figure range for products. I know there are a lot of luxury brands that still make styles like that. They charge a premium for them. Love a little bit of luxury. I'm intrigued. I just wish that they were kind of maybe like a little bit more glossy or a little bit darker. I just think they don't really sheen and shine like one would want a crocodile shoe to, especially if you're paying the price that you're paying, you know what I mean? And for the most part, it's kind of blah. The whole thing is blah. It's boring, it's banal, it's uninteresting. As for Nicole, it's pretty much a cocktail dress in gray that has a floral embroidery, a sort of back cutout, and then a little sheer slip skirt that falls almost to the floor. That floral embroidery continues all the way down. I don't love it. I'm not obsessed with it. I don't really think it's that great. I don't really think it's that exciting. I think that the motif is kind of ugly from a distance and not that cute to save the ugliness from a distance up close. So that's kind of rough. I read that she just gave birth, willing to cut slack, 100%. I get it. It's an ugly dress, you know? That's it. That's all. We have to talk about Kelsea Ballerini and Mackenzie Porter, who both showed up to the carpet wearing the exact same dress by none other than Balenciaga. I don't think this has ever happened in the history of HauteLeMode. I don't think we've ever had a moment where people wear the same dress on the carpet. I am obsessed. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I think it's very comical. The thing is, they both wore this blue floor-length, fully gloved Balenciaga dress from the fall 2022 collection. It was the finale look that came out during that snowstorm Balenciaga moment by Demna. Kim Kardashian actually wore it to the Oscars after party for Vanity Fair back in April. And Kelsea and Mackenzie were like, listen, we're gonna take her leftovers. And I'm like, all right. From my understanding, it's the same dress. What I also think is so intriguing is Kelsey's has the full gloves where Mackenzie's does not. But the thing is, we can see that the seamage up close and personal around the sort of bust area, like the same exact darts are there. We can see that there's some sort of under bra situation that's there as well. The neckline is incredibly similar. The fabric is very similar. The way that the skirt falls from the back is super similar. Like, there's just so much about it that is kind of kooky and kind of crazy, and just, it's the same dress pretty much. I'm not gonna get into who wore it better, because personally, I think that they both wore it pretty poorly. The dress is meant to be like skin tight. There is not meant to be a pucker in sight. And the issue is, like, on both of them, there's elements where it's like, this doesn't fit. I think Mackenzie's fits a little bit better, but she also doesn't have the gloves to it, which I think is like part of the pizzazz of the look. They both kind of flopped in this regard. But the thing is, you might say, Luke, how could Balenciaga ever lend the same dress to two people for the exact same event? Pretty positive it's because Balenciaga didn't. I'm pretty positive that this dress is up for sale on Balenciaga's website and probably is in store. I don't know if they went to two different stores. I don't know if they went to, maybe they ordered it online. I don't know how it worked. And I know that Balenciaga and their PR team would not have ever let something like this happen, because that's just what good PR people do. This is like a mess of their own making. It's just they kind of brought Balenciaga into it by themselves. I really don't think that there's any need to be like, who wore it better? Because they both wore it terribly. But the fact that we couldn't get dresses that we actually bought tailored to fit us in the manner that it was meant to fit us is the part where I'm like, you both flopped. You both get 0%. But do I still think it's fun? Absolutely, I had a great time. Thanks, ladies. You really made my day. Next up, we have Maren Morris, and she is wearing Naeem Khan. It's a black floor-length sequin dress with a big plunge in a halter style and a jewelry dangle. Maren said, listen, I saw Addison, she looked good, I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't actually think that's what she said, but in my head, she did. The thing is, I don't think it looks terrible. I just don't think that it's really super exciting, super intriguing, super memorable. I know that Maren didn't even go to the actual red carpet. I mean, like, I stan the reason that she didn't go, and I stan her in general. It's not bad. The fit isn't poor. I like the plunge. I like the halter. I like the textile. It's getting somewhere. It just needs to get somewhere a little bit farther along, you know what I mean? Like a little bit smarter, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more memorable. That's helpful. Next up, we had Miranda Lambert. She showed up in a vintage Thierry Mugler. It's a pink silk gown that is the infrastructure of the look, but then there is a lace overlay that creates a strap experience, but the lace runs all the way down and creates a little overlay of the black lace on the pink. Does it feel very boudoir dressing? Does it have a sort of reference to, I don't know, lingerie and things like that? The black lace? Yeah, absolutely. Do I love the dress? No. Do I think that there are cool elements to the dress? Absolutely. Do I think the fact that there are those black lines that raise and contour the bust area, as well as the little black lines that come in and create an emphasis on the waist, I think is great. I think that she's doing a great job of pulling out nice archival pieces. I don't love the look, but it's nice. It fits her well. I think it's cool to do an archival Mugler, like Miranda Lambert obviously has taste. I'm okay with that. And finally, we have my queen, Reba McEntire. Showed up, showed out. Reba just knows what she's doing. She's a single mom who works 2 jobs. She knows how to dress herself for what she needs to do. Thing is, this blue, beautiful fitted gown is stunning. The shoulders are gorgeous. The fit on that waist is phenomenal. Slight plunge, you know what I mean? Not too much, but just enough, is seductive yet sweet. And then the floor length is great. Listen, I don't even hate the little front sled. The shoes, it's Reba. She can do whatever she wants. I just think that it fits her miraculously. She understands her body. She knows how to dress herself. The blue radiates off of her hair. Like she gets it. Reba gets it. That is the end of this CMA's Red Carpet Roast and Review. Let's talk about best and worst. Best, Dustin Lynch for the menswear. Karen Fairchild in the Alai. Does it fit well? And it was nice. And Reba, oh my God, Reba got it. As for the worst, Carrie Underwood, Kelsea, Ballerini, and Mackenzie Porter, and Britney Aldean. All not good. That is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. And if you guys want me to keep doing the CMAs in the future, I will. Don't worry. You know, I'll even get a little honky-tonk fit for it. Thank you guys again. I'll see you in the next one. And TTYL.